Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, this year, for the first time, big-time college football will name a national champion through a playoff system. Big news for the world of college athletics, but probably not as big as the news off the field. Joining me now is our Andy Barth.
Well, Rob, what a difference a year can make. From antitrust laws to player compensation, the NCAA is under fire and losing a game against the very players it represents.
It's all part of the game. Big plays.
Touchdown!
And hard hits.
And he completes the pass.
But athletes are crying foul, with coaches, athletic programs, and TV networks getting rich at their expense. Which is why the NCAA was sacked with a lawsuit led by former UCLA basketball star Ed O'Bannon. And what started as a lawsuit over player royalties from video games has now morphed into a larger issue about whether players should get paid at all. Author and reporter Jeff Benedict.
Coaches today are making salaries that are certainly comparable to CEOs. And at the end of the day, that revenue stream is supported by a group between 80 and 100 young men, many of whom are still juveniles when they show up on campus, who don't make a dime.
The highest paid Division I football coaches all make more than $5 million, while the highest Division I basketball coach receives more than $7 million. And during the lawsuit testimony, NCAA CEO Mark Emmert said he was opposed to paying players for anything more than the cost of attending a university, but said paying coaches millions of dollars was something that was commonly accepted, which was a key factor in federal judge Claudia Wilkins' landmark decision when she ruled on behalf of athletes, stating in her 99-page opinion that the NCAA's long-standing ban on compensating athletes for use of their name, image, and likeness violates antitrust law. And while Wilkins didn't say that athletes should be paid for playtime, she did strike down almost every argument the NCAA made in defense of the traditional college model. Certainly a score for college players. But an appeal from the NCAA could send this game into overtime.
Oregon with the ball first.
Well, now the ruling made by Judge Wilkin will go into effect July 1 of 2016, and schools will then be free to entice recruits either by allocating group licensing revenue for athletes still in school or by placing those funds into a trust for use after the player's eligibility expires.
And in the payments for airtime in video games, they're not the only reforms now underway with the NCAA, right?
That's right, Rob. The Power 5 conferences, which include the Big 12, ACC, Big 10, Pac-12, and the SEC, now have the power to give athletes in all sports an increase in spending money to cover living costs beyond tuition, room and board, and books.
Now, what about those schools that are in the smaller conferences?
Well, Rob, they are more than welcome to follow suit. However, their pockets just aren't as deep as those big conferences.
Which could well then result in the unintended consequence of creating an even larger gap between the college haves and the college have-nots. Thank you so much, Andy.
You're welcome, Rob.
And you can see our full interview on the future of college athletics with author Jeff Benedict. We have that on our website under our value-added section at okhorizon.com. Now, when we return, an Oklahoma coaching legend through the eyes of his son.